Brick by brick, you get your boy Big Wall, and you already know the vibes, man. You know what type of time we on. When you see Pstock next to me, you know what we here to do. We here to address the culture, right, P?
It's that time, man. It's time for the culture, and we here to address it.
Yeah,
Another great lineup tonight.
yeah,
And a great topic.
yeah,
Just for the culture. This
yes.
is what the culture needs. We always like to. That's what we tend to do, brother. I'm gonna start calling you King Culture. Because you be
yeah,
around, you be doing it all. But that's what it's about. You
yeah,
giving
yeah,
back, and that's what we got to do, and that's what we strive to do. And with these shows, I'm hoping it's introducing people to different, people and art that they haven't even, thought about it from this point of view. So
yeah.
coming at them like that, we're gonna address the culture, and we want to make people smile and laugh, and let you know that, yeah, we got some real ass kickers, and they real folks,
You know
real
what I'm talking
people,
about?
real plans, real
Yeah,
missions, real humble gentlemen,
yeah.
and that's what I like, in the culture
Yeah, and it's breaking color barriers. You know what I mean? And,
all
and
the
and that's
time,
what I love about it. You know, when we talk
all
about
the time.
your culture and just what you creatively can do, when you put the work into it, you put the aggression, the get your frustrations out. You know what I mean? And focus on one particular thing and utilize that to affect your whole life is amazing. You know, a lot of people out here don't have their focus, and the brothers that we got today, they did that. You know what I mean? And we already know, man. Like in this world, it's a lot of things you can't do, or they say you can't do, just because of the color of your skin. And the legendary brothers we got today on the platform, they refuse that, and they
Oh yeah,
utilize themselves. They can't stay focused. They pursue what they were supposed to do, and they're legends. You know what I mean? And that's why we got them here. We spinning a block. You know what I mean? We
yes
we
we
we, we
are.
coming back, and we're gonna address the culture, man. And that's why I love having people on the platform like the people we got today. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. So and those of you who caught the first round when we had the BKF on before,
Yeah.
and the BKF Warrior, I like to say the BKF Warrior Chiefs, the chiefs was on there, but we got into the history because a lot of people weren't familiar, with the
Don't
history.
believe it. Don't
Yeah,
even believe
or
it.
don't believe it exactly.
Don't believe it. You know what I
So
mean? And these
so
gentlemen put in the work to show and prove. You know?
all day long. And it's
Yeah.
documented, So
Yeah.
I'm excited. They got some things they're working on. I'm excited to see those when things get completed and come, and are released, because that's going to be big, and that's going to get into the real truth and depth behind the movement, and the BKF and the founding, from them themselves, with
Yeah.
nobody to, you know, uh, interject anything that
Refute,
isn't true. Yeah,
deny. You
refute.
know what I
Yeah,
mean? None of
this
that.
is this is the way it happened, and that's why I like these shows. And I like to
Yeah.
bring them on, and it's a cool environment. Relax. Let's talk about it. We're gonna
Yeah.
address the culture. As we
Yeah.
do. A
Yeah.
lot of going on in the culture and a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Cause like, and that's one thing that I did learn about as we dig just into the martial art, the FMA, the BKF. You know what I'm saying? Just the different, the healing and the different styles and the different techniques that you put into the craft. It's just one thing that impresses me is the fact that coming up, like we didn't have a lot of opportunities. You know what
No,
I mean? Like
no.
it wasn't a lot of things that you could do to put your effort into. You know what I mean? And everybody that took their time and put the right effort into their craft. When we talk about this,
Yes,
they reach so many different heights. You know what I mean? We talk
yes,
about defending yourself, learning how to teach people, learning how to heal yourself. You know what I mean? Being inducted into Hall of Fames tonight. We're gonna
yes,
talk about it. You know what I mean?
yes.
Like taking it to a place where people can only dream of. You know what I mean?
Yep,
Being
yep.
physical, being in condition, like that takes a different type of mind frame. You know what I mean? And today, being able to have those different techniques and knowing, especially now, the way the world is, You know what I mean? That is something that you want to know. You want to know how to defend yourself. You want to know how to be in a position to make things and the people around you feel safe. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And I love that. You know what I mean? And today when we got the BKF, you know, being black in this world, you know, it's not a lot of things that they want us to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And these brothers took they know-how, they took their vision, their purpose, and they put it into something, and they made something out of it. So I love that. You know what I mean? I'm glad we spent the block. The first time I wasn't here, you know what I mean? And it was an amazing show. So we got to spin the block because it was so impelling. So
and we will keep spinning the block.
And we will, man.
I mean, we're tapped in. We want to keep everybody updated to the movements, you know, because they do move, especially in the California area. But they're world, you know, they're world renowned. They're all over the world. And
their stories need to be told. You know what I mean? And that's what we're going to do. We out here to address the culture. We ain't ducking no smoke. You know what I mean? We gonna hear, we gonna talk about it. And y'all already know we got Tibon in the building. You know what I mean? He's our guide through these martial arts streets. You know what I'm talking about? And we got him here, and we're gonna talk about it. And he's gonna give his intake on everything. You know what I mean? With the gentleman that we got going on, and we gonna talk about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's go.
So look, we're gonna pay some bills. We're gonna take us a small break, and we're gonna be right back with Tibon, and we're gonna continue to address the culture. You already know the vibes. It's your boy Big Wall, right here with Pstock. We'll be right back.
But see, I'm a nerd. I'm a martial artist, and I'm a serious black nerd. I'm a blur.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Like, you know what? We can ready to spar with Claude Van Damme. I want to see how good he is. He spread the word, man. Dude, BKF guys I had never met or seen before just showed up. Cut off geese. You know how we used to wear the cut off frayed geese and stuff, the raggedy little geese and stuff? I mean, they dressed to fight, right? So it was like 15 or 20 of us. So we standing outside in our geese waiting. Limousine pulls up, stops right in front of us. The window goes down eye level. You see a pair of eyes. The window goes up. The limousine leaves.
Got Adam James.
Adam, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
With the head of the Kempo karate school in Oahu, his name was Buell, right?
Well, I think you're thinking of Bill Ryosaki.
That's who I'm talking about. Yeah. Him. His students used to beat the shit out of me, and ain't nothing but his students at that park, dude. And they lit me up. I thought I knew something, bro. They made me look like I was a white belt. I didn't, man. My martial arts was off the chain when I got back, dude. I was doing stuff like looking at the tip of swords and making it circle.
That's when I started studying Chinese Kempo, but I didn't know at the time that my instructor was trained by Professor Chow and Bill Chun Sr. Well, I hit the instructor's bag one time. That was the last time I touched that. I'm serious. I mean, it was like concrete, bro. And one thing that Professor Chow was famous for was his hand conditioning. So if you look at my knuckles, that comes from the Chinese Kempo conditioning, hand conditioning.
Yeah, but I would give nothing for my journey, because that 8 years that I was there in New York under Sophie Littlejohn and Doc Powell and Professor Robert Crossan, it was just...
These are all legends, too.
When we bring up jiu-jitsu, I want to clear the air, okay? Because a lot of people, this is Hawaiian folklore. A lot of people think that Professor Chow got his black belt from Koshiru Kempo, Maitosi. That's not a fact.
Dress the culture, I'm address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come address the culture, we gon' talk about it. Come and address the culture, huh?
T-Bone, what's
T-Bone
going on
in the
with you,
house.
man?
There he is.
Brother Pstock and Bigg, welcome. It's an honor to be on this show. I lost count how many shows we've done, but every one of them are special,
Yes.
sentimental. And
Yes.
in the martial art world, you run across folks. And in the past, about 15 years ago, that's where I ran into Brother Kid Jason and Bilal Amin and several other folks, that were amongst the BKF, competed around these great people such as Steve Muhammad and Sam Pace, K.C. Jones, the whole thing, the whole group, and Jim Kelly back in those days, Enter the Dragon, where you see the beginning of that. But had the opportunity to come amongst and become friends, with a lot of people, even the late Cliff Stewart, and had the opportunity to sit and talk with him, almost up until his passing. We talk on Facebook, but he touched my life in a lot of ways, and befriending Brother Sultanuddin. Brother Sultanuddin and the late Cliff Stewart were very good friends, very close, associates, and they had worked together too, but it's amazing the people that we all meet just throughout the martial arts. And that's why this show, on the BKF is happening. This is basically a recap. Last I checked, Dennis was trying to tap in. Hopefully,
he's here.
Yeah, we look like he's in the green room.
Fantastic.
Got him in the green room.
Yeah, Dennis is in the building, so it's official. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got the president of BKF on the show, K.C. Jones.
Spinning the block with K.C.
Beautiful.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Legendary, but we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
And we got my man Bilal Amin on.
Yeah, we got Bilal Amin.
Bilal's going to tap in,
He just got
his things up.
He just got done tapping in because he's building a dojo as we speak. So he stopped building to come talk to us. You know what I mean? Steady building and adding to the culture. But
bro, a week don't go by, I think, that me and Brother Bilal, we have a conversation. He's one of them brothers that we communicate a lot, and he's a great joy, to have as a brother, a good friend, and just talk to, chop it up, right? Yeah. But anyway, here's another great show. It's basically the recap of BKF, and we got some great people on board here, including the president, K.C. Jones. So here it is, guys. Here it is.
That makes it official. That makes it official.
You know what I'm talking about? Now, besides the obvious on why you wanted to do this in the first place, can you kind of just tap in and what made you want to do this? Because again, you know what I mean? This is one of those things that, people don't want. There's a lot of people out here that don't want this type of energy, do not want us to connect the cultures the way we are connected. There's a lot of people out here may have a problem with this. Like I always say, we're not ducking no smoke, but I'm gonna talk to you, Tibon, because I already know how you feel about it. But for those who might not know, what makes you continue to want to address the culture in such a fashion and bring people on like we got today?
I think what it comes down to is how much I love the culture, Filipino martial arts, and I'll let you guys know my background, my family background, from the Philippines to Hawaii, from Hawaii to here in 1920s, befriending people in the martial art world, you guys met Banky Lumumba Parker. He's a cat that I used to watch compete when I was a very young man. And, bringing guys from the past, that were older than me, but at the same time, I respected what he was doing because a lot of the guys that I went to high school with trained under Lumumba Snake Fist. So, to bring people from the past, from 40 years ago, 45 years ago, and get them on the show and get to hear their stories. What's happening, I'm being educated about folks that I thought I knew, but until we get them on this show, I learned so much more about them. Yeah. And I think that's the beauty of legacy and this show. is creating an opportunity for people to talk about who their teachers are, who they came from, where they are at today, and give them an opportunity to voice what they want to do in the future.
Yeah.
It doesn't get no better than that, brother. You know, and you know, there was a time a lot of us, we tracked the martial arts through magazines. So a magazine would come out once a month, and you guys could relate to that. And you really didn't know what was going on in the martial art world until you read Black Belt Magazine, Inside Kung Fu, a couple other martial art magazines. Well, this is the day of social media. It's very easy for us to connect with people all over the world if you understand the timeline.
It's borderless now. It's borderless.
You know, I know what I've been doing all these years with Legacy. Why not create an opportunity for everybody else to do the same thing? Because I believe it's very fulfilling. You know, you feel good doing what we're doing, talking about the past, our teachers, our grandmasters, who their teachers were. And like you said, Brother Pstock, this is documented, digital documentation of martial arts. And, you know, we started off with Legacy, Filipino martial arts. And I said, you know what, let's open this up to all martial arts.
Absolutely.
So this is what's going on right now. And, you know, thank you, LD19, Pstock, Brother Tone Big Wall, for creating this opportunity for us to continue what we're doing today. Okay, we're documenting martial art history and legacies of those that fired everything up in the early days to get it to where it's at today. That's legacy right there. And hey, I couldn't be more happy to share with everybody. That's what it's all about, brother. Sharing and caring, and loving what you're doing. You know, that's what I'm doing, guys. Just loving what I'm doing, man. And if I could introduce folks to you guys, and they have an opportunity to talk, it'll get no better than that, brother. It really does.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing. Okay, it's what I'm doing right here.
Because, you know, we're going to spread the word, you know, and we're going to deliver it, too. So, with no smoke. So
you know, I know I'm from Little Stockton, you know, born and raised here, still living here. But if a guy from Stockton can help create this kind of opportunity for the martial arts, why not? You know, y'all gave me this platform to push the legacy. Okay, we're going beyond just one art. We're going all the arts. And it's only fitting for all martial arts to get on this platform, you know, and share and care, guys. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right?
Ain't nothing wrong with it all. And look, that's what we're going to do. Shouts out to the legacy. Shouts out to you for wanting to continue to move the needle forward. And that's what we're going to do. Now, look, what else can we say? You know what I'm talking about? We're going to take us a short break, and we're going to be right back with the BKF in the building. And they're going to talk their talk. Y'all already know the vibes. It's your boy Big Wall here with Pstock and Tibon. We'll be right back.
Let's do this.
Man, because the bar game crazy, man. I see you over there going crazy on the project. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it, man. Just being consistent, you know what I'm saying? Understanding where I want to go musically, you know what I'm saying?
Now you spoke about a team, man. And I know you work with the Networking Queen. You know what I'm saying? I work with the Networking Queen too. My management. Shouts out. Yes. You already know the vibes.
So when I was coming up, it was all about getting a record deal.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? It wasn't about building your own label and your own thing from the beginning. So I think it would be more of that, even though we did have Master P there, you know what I'm saying, and everything else, but it was also all about being signed, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's what it was. I probably would have took that chance way, way sooner. You know what I'm saying, on building it from the ground up. You dig what I'm saying? What's good? It's the kid Stevie Stone. And right now you are tuned in to Address the Culture. Big shout out to my family, Big Wall. Much love. Hear me.
We gon' talk about it. Come and address the culture, huh?
are back. We are back.
Line right here.
I'm happy
Yeah,
now.
great
Finally.
Thank you so much.
Hey, now this is historic right here now.
Man,
Yes,
come
it
on.
It is.
We got GM Dennis in here all the way from Kenya. You know?
Yeah,
So-
international.
That right there is a first, and you know, and it's an honor to have you on. It's always an honor to have Bilal on, but it's an honor tonight too to have the president of the BKF Warriors,
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
K.C. Jones, on. You know,
Yes.
Wow.
fresh off
Yeah.
of the Hall of Fame honor, which is a big honor, and I wanted to get that out there. I seen that. I said, I know I'm getting back on the show. I got to get him with. I got to get him because that's a big honor. You know,
Yes.
and, you know, it's ground. So tell us about that, and let's go. Let's get into it.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
First, I want to thank Big Wall, Tibon, Pstock for inviting me back in. Of course, Bilal, good to see you again.
Yes, sir.
Grandmaster Dennis, peace and love to you, my brother. It's good to see you. We'll talk to you later soon.
Thank you, sir.
The award was, you know, it was kind of interesting because I went back and forth with this award. And so all of you know, you martial artists know that someone always contacts you and say, hey, we have this award for you. You've been nominated. We want to present this to you. And then there's this pause. If you send us $755,
Story of my life.
we're going to give you this trophy and this ring and this necklace and this young lady to hug on to, right?
Yeah.
You know, and a lot of times I said, you know what? No, but, you know, thanks much. I can't attend. So this is one of the, and I don't have them all, but I've received 5 different awards. But this is one of the occasions that they just said, be there at this time on this date. Yeah. And I got to show it. So I was nominated by someone who I still don't know, but then voted in, from a group of peers afterwards. So it was very heartfelt. It was humbling. It was exciting, and I accepted the award on behalf of the BKF, of the organization itself, which spans, you know, internationally. So it wasn't just me there. I was just a representative of the award for the organization. Yeah. But yeah, it meant a lot to me. It was exciting. And wow, you know, I just said, you know, hey, God did this for me. God, you know, blessed me to get here in the past. There's blessings that right now I'm experiencing, and I can't even guess the blessings that I'm going to get in the future.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's amazing.
Congratulations, GM K.C., you know, for your award. I understand how you feel, and I'm a part of the Master Hall of Fame. I am an ambassador for Filipino martial arts, but I have also made several inductions outside of Filipino martial arts too. And, you know, it's a great honor to receive an award. And I think what happens is when you accept an award like that, it's all the people that are there with you. And it gives you an opportunity to meet a lot of folks that you might have only seen maybe on seminar banners or what have you. But then you tend to make new connections of people, you know, and you become friends with several other people. Right. And that's pretty much what happened on my behalf, you know, going into the Masters Hall of Fame 2009. But I was made an ambassador at that time too. And it was at a time where there was no Hall of Fame for FMA at that time. So I looked at it as an opportunity to recognize so many Filipino martial artists. So, you know, it's gratifying to give to people that have dedicated their lives in teaching their arts, and to bring it, you know, on a red carpet, suit and tie, surrounding environment that makes it very special, you know, for a lot of people. But I do understand what you're saying about the cost. I do understand.
And I thank you.
I have a question on that too, especially with the Hall of Fame and everything, and to be candid on this as well. How many, you know, or who was the first? Because I imagine back in 60s and 70s when the martial art was going, there wasn't letting as many black masters into these Hall of Fames, or grand masters into these Hall of Fames. You know, so now for it to come full circle to get in there, you know, have you known, who did you, you know, besides, you know, I'm sure Grandmaster Muhammad is in there, or Saunders, according to you. So, I mean, so how many people in the past, you know, deserved that honor but didn't get it? Because I imagine there's a whole lot of people out there that think that. So,
yeah, actually, the very first person on my list that, and I was told that as a nominee and a recipient that I would have an opportunity to call on another nominee.
Right some wrongs, huh?
What's that?
You get to right some wrongs, huh?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'll pick him, right?
Yeah.
So within our organization, and even in board meetings when we sit and talk about it, there's one individual within BKF that got very little to no recognition. However, in my mind and in others' mind, he built the BKF, and that's Ernest Russell. Ernest Russell was one of the natural fighters that we had within the BKF. I'm talking about Ernest would fight from sun up to sundown and develop the skill set. And so when he went to tournaments, you could tell that Ernest was there as a skilled technician. He was a true fighter. He not only fought in sports karate, but he was successful in full contact as well. Ernest's name's not mentioned very many places at all. So Ernest is definitely, and it's going to be a surprise to him, I'm sure. Well, I hope it is anyway. But Ernest is definitely a standout person. Now, I don't know if anybody's ever met Ernest before, but Ernest was a guy. So the way BKF ran is like, say, they opened the doors early in the morning, and then you would go until late at night. It could be, if the school's supposed to close at 9. Sometimes we were there to 12, 1 o'clock in the morning going. And Ernest would come in, and he would have his glasses turned sideways like this. And Ernest would say, you want to come out here and move around a little bit? Well, you always knew that hey, you have some work ahead of you. I can tell you that, unfortunately, DJ's unable to be here, but DJ tells a story about him working out with Ernest and him hitting Ernest and breaking his own foot. So Ernest was that guy that not only could hit you and hurt you, but you hitting him could also injure you as well. Yeah, Ernest came here as a warrior. He's 100% hardcore. So yeah, Ernest is definitely my pick.
So that's good. That's one of those things that you like to tap into and figure out. You know, because I know there's a lot of people left off.
Tons of them.
Out the room that you know yourself, and Bilal and everybody knows. So, and that's one of the points I kind of wanted to bring to the table for that. Because it is a big honor. So I know you're gonna, that honor bestowed to get you. I like what you said. It's for the BKF.
Yeah.
He's representing the BKF. So it's everybody involved. Whenever you got it, the whole BKF.
Absolutely.
I got a quick question to Brother Dennis. Grandmaster Dennis, do you have something equivalent to that over in Kenya?
When I first received my Grandmaster certificate from Mr. Muhammad, I met some in opposition. People say, why me? They always ask, how did you achieve it? Okay? But what I believe in is just about the hard work and the energy that you put. I get so many questions, even from my fellow brothers in the US. I don't mention their names.
Yeah.
But still stand with me.
Yeah.
Because the work that I'm having right here in Kenya is more. Everybody can see the achievement that I made, even my great grandmaster Amin. So that's normal. Hand, brother, because I know no one would like you to accept. You always oppose whatever the achievement that you have. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
GM Dennis, tell us a little bit about your history in coming into the martial arts. How it went about for you, your story.
Yes.
Well, my name's Dennis Odhiambo. I was trained early '98 by my grandmaster Amin, and I was so close to him so much. You know, what I can remember so much is when he hit me with hammer fist to the groin. You see, and I took pain, and I was trying to cry. I was still young. Then he told me, we don't need crying babies. To go home. But I had the passion in martial arts.
Yes.
So we became friends. He told me, don't respect me much. Take me as a business partner. Then working on how you can make money. And he used to come to my house. He used to sleep on the couch right here. I remember when we were Domena, so I really miss this guy. Through life, being that he was from the US, he adapted so quickly in Nairobi. Got married to a Luo, and I can remember when he came and he like, Dennis, how do you do these things? How do you take the down? Then I told you need to take counts. Yeah. Because our tradition, you have to. And me and the first black man, my coach here, we accompanied him to Anmakunda to catch where the lady's home is. So from there, then it's like we have the ugali, chicken, and some stuffs there. And then we have the basal, and like this. Is it a porridge? I don't know. This is a traditional liquor. Oh, really?
Traditional.
Yeah. So this guy is, really was shocked, but being that I married a good woman before we separated, and he was so happy.
Yeah.
I really appreciate that, and it's our prayer that may his soul rest him. Yeah. So when he introduced me to that, there's a time he came and he is saying Shotokan. So you try like this. Listen, are you demonstrating or fighting? I used to put my legs down right there like this, like the Shotokan guy. And you guys just nothing is the whole thing. The drawing. It's like, this is not
He's right.
Yeah.
Amara was hard on them Shotokan guys. I used to talk to him every day on Facebook. He was hard on those cats.
When I was a very good kicker, I normally kick high. I love my kick. I can kick. Then he carried me. Oh, take me down. Poof. But he came to me and told me, Dennis, that's not the right way. See?
Yeah.
And I had to listen. After learning all those Japanese tribes, that's what we had that time.
Yeah.
So when he came with Kempo, I can feel the partner calling me, the compound, like, wow, this is good. And then again, kick with the front ball kick. Then like, I'm used to you see? Oh, I taekwondo, I left Shotokan, and then I go to mountain master to teach me, you know, as a young guy, and I get to know more. He asked me, where do you train? I told him that we normally call the Rico Horn in Arab, Islam's Nairobi. So one day, and we started like that. So what I can remember well is normally come the requirement and levels requirement. We talk to the ones, give us the paper, go and practice. And by then we never had phone, no internet. Then we only use this book. Copyright. Next month, maybe July 10th, we have a black belt meeting.
Right.
2 p.m.
Yeah.
Don't miss it. If you miss it, you get 5 punches on your stomach. Oh, it's tomorrow. No, it's today. I forgot my orange belt.
Yeah.
So, everybody online, get hosted. Tell us where's your belt. Just, let me check it on my bag. I have to go back home. Take my yes, vehicle, public service vehicle. Take me to Islam. Then I got my belt just on the couch because I was in a hurry. I got back there. Oh, I guess everybody. No, sir, the class is finished. It's like, oh, shit. I'm sorry. Make sure you don't forget your belt. Either you forget your uniform, but not your belt.
Not the belt, huh?
Don't forget that. Go with the belt on.
Every day, I used to have my belt on my bag. Yeah.
Everywhere.
Oh, man. I love it. Brother K.C. Brother K.C. and Bilal, for those who might not know, why don't you guys tell us your start as well? You know what I mean? We can start with K.C. For those who might not know, you know what I'm saying? Tell them how you started and how you became the president. Okay. You know what I mean?
Wow. When you say how you started, how did I start in martial arts? Or how
and just how you kind of worked up to being in a position that you hold it today.
Yeah, I actually started. I'm doing nutshell because it's there's a lot of little nooks and turns and things.
Yeah.
So I originally started with Bong Soo-han, and those of you who don't recognize the name, that's the stunt. He did the stunts for Billy Jack back in the days. Yeah, I started up in the Hapkido, and I worked in Hapkido for a while. Introduced to Jun Chung as well, who did Tang Sudo as well, or Taekwondo, and I had some really good instructors. I don't know if you guys remember Jim Acolas. Jim Acolas fought Bill Wallace early on in Full Contact, and from there I used to. Well, actually, prior to Hapkido, is I actually show up at Harvard Park or Sportsman's Park because I went to go swimming. And there was a guy out there in the middle and like maybe a dozen people around him. He had these pajamas on. He's kicking and hollering. And I thought, like, well, let me go see what's going on over there, right? So, somebody's having a fit is what I thought. and so I got in, and the guy said, oh, yeah, we're learning karate right now. And I got in with the class. And during the summer I was there. So it was like twice a week I'd go in and do the stuff. Well, later on I find out that this guy in the pajamas kicking, screaming, howling was Steve Saunders. But I didn't know at the time. And so that's why I left. I said, hey, I want a formal school. Here's the mindset, right? We talked about this earlier. I need an Asian instructor. Somebody knows.
Yeah, I think we all had that in the back of our minds when we first started. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So my mind had been already washed to believe that that was true, the stereotype. And that's how I connected with Bang Suhan. I was there for up until 1970. And one of my former classmates, Henry Scruggs, was also already black belt with BKF. And he introduced me to BKF. He said, oh, if you come up here, they're really, it's a militarized type workout. It's rugged, it's strenuous. And, if you want to do it, come on down. And I'm like, that's no problem. So I'm starting to get ready for football. I remember I was in junior high school at the time. And I'm getting ready for football. So, hey, this is cool. I'll go and get my workout in. And yes, it was a workout. I learned how to fight. I really learned how to fight. It wasn't karate. It wasn't karate as the McDojos go, but this was real karate. This was real. When you walked out the door, what's that? That's that saying on the can. Oh yeah, contents under pressure. Don't pump or incinerate. Well, that's how I felt when I left the door of that school, because there was no man that I feared. There was not a single man that I would fear. And then I would go fast forward. So, I say it was about 10 years ago when the federation started to separate and go different directions, and the interest in BKF started to subside. I thought to myself, says, you know what? BKF was supposed to be a business in the beginning. This is my interface with Ron Chappelle and Jerry Smith. It was supposed to be a business. It just wasn't about kicking and punching, but we were supposed to be incorporated. So I'm a college grad, and I understand finances and I understand business. So I sat down with two of my other brothers and said, hey, man, let's put this together. Let's make it real. We put our little money together and we became incorporated. And then we got an attorney that came in, and the attorney wanted to help. So then he made us into a nonprofit group. Well, because I fronted the money and did all the research, they pointed at me and says, okay, you'll be president. Your name's on everything. So you be president, you're financially responsible. So you're the guy. So I'll say I wasn't voted in. I was selected.
Yeah.
And I accept that because Steve Saunders in the very beginning, Steve Mohammed now, was selected as president. He was not voted in. They said, we'll take him because he was a figurehead. At that time, Steve was whooping everybody's butt in the tournament.
He was, literally.
Literally, he was. Literally whooping everybody's behind in the tournament. So because he stood out in Black Belt Magazine and Karate Illustrated, and all the different magazines were out there with Kung Fu, he stood out. So they said, hey, you know what? We're gonna have to have this guy as a figurehead. So after BKF was formed, they went and got Steve Saunders, said, hey man, you should come on and be part of this, and we're even gonna make you president. It's like, fine. And that's how Steve became president. And that's how I became president. I was selected because of business reasons. Not so much I was a standout martial artist, not that I was the best fighter, but it was a business thing that I had going on. So that's what put me in the position.
Yeah. That's even doper to be selected. You know what I mean? Because man, and with that comes a certain level of responsibility. And they saw that in you. You know what I mean? To be able to lead into the next, you know what I'm saying, course. You know what I mean? And that's dope, man. Shouts out to you. But go ahead.
No, Big Wall, I'm gonna say thank you. You did not hand me a trophy physically right now. However, you did socially. You presented me with something. So flowers. I thank you so very much. Flowers. Thank you.
Yes. Y'all go get y'all flowers today. You know what I mean? Because you guys' story needs to be told. You know when we talk about living legends. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Y'all, all of y'all. You know what I mean? Everybody on this screen. You know what I mean? Including Tibon. You know what I'm talking about? We talk about living legends. What you guys accomplished, you know what I mean? A lot of people have not accomplished, you know what I mean? And being able to do what you guys do, it needs to be celebrated because they don't want to tell our stories. They want to tell our stories for us. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what we're here to do to address the culture. And Brother Bilal, I want to come to you. I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself and the things you've accomplished within the culture.
As usual, I came through the martial arts in a series of absurdities. Pretty much. I'm gonna tell you, when I was a kid, I used to box. I used to do Golden Gloves, you know, and I was actually pretty good, you know, boxer. And then I went in the Army, and I came home on leave, and my little sister was taking Taekwondo. She was 10 years old. I was 20. So I'm like, okay, let me see what you got, kid. Let me see what you got. So I'm dancing around, doing my little boxing thing. And she's like, I don't want to hurt you. I was like, what are you talking about? You're only 10 years old. She kicked me right in my scrotum, dude. And I fell. And when I fell, her eyes got big, and she turned around and said, when I get myself together, I'm going to kill you. So on the way home, on the way back to the base, I'm thinking, I'm like, man, this 10-year-old girl, my biggest sister just kicked my ass. So I was like, man, I gotta look into this karate thing.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait. Did she whoop you? What did she whoop you? Like she really put them hands on you?
She dropped me like a sack of potatoes with one green kick, bro. I mean, she didn't hold back. The little 10-year-old put everything she could in that kick, and I was on the ground. When I get myself together, I'm gonna kill you. That's actually one of the primary reasons I started thinking about martial arts. Now, I was always a Bruce Lee fan and all that, but really thinking about taking it, no. And I was in the Army for about a year and a half, and then we got this new general. His name was Emerson. He used to carry 2 pearl handle coats. We used to call him the gunfighter, and he loved Taekwondo. So they asked for volunteers. So I'm like, you know what? I volunteered. My sister just kicked my ass with that. So they taught us basic techniques, but there was this one instructor. He was an African American guy, but he kept talking with a Japanese accent. And if anybody, Darren knows me. A lot of times I might not say nothing, but eventually I'm gonna say something, right? Because it starts getting compulsive with me. So I was like, yo, bro, you from Detroit, man. Why you keep talking like you from Detroit, bro? That dude stayed on my case. I got in great shape because he was so mad at me, man. He kept making when I got back, I was in better shape than all the troops. After I got out that program and I made like yellow belt, I got shipped to El Paso, Texas, and I met a guy named Ike Korea, and I'm still taking Taekwondo. But my thing was Taekwondo. I'm not what you call a high kicker. I'm not much of a kicker at all.
Okay.
So he was a part of the Shinji Masu organization under Charles Dixon. And Charles Dixon at the time was teaching Okinawan Japanese Goju. He eventually developed that system into what you call Shaolin Goju because he added other systems in there. But we were pretty much doing traditional Okinawan Goju. And that was the low kicks with an emphasis on the Okinawan mindset, which is the emphasis on self-defense, was what I was interested in. I really wasn't very interested in tournaments, but I was always interested in defending myself because I was a little guy. And from there, I mean, after that, I made Shodan in that system and then went to Hawaii. Well, I actually went to Richmond, learned Pablo Burrell's system. He's in the Hall of Fame too. I learned his, actually, I'm the heir to his system. And then ended up in Hawaii. And man, after the Hawaiians kept beating me up, bro, my martial arts was off the chain. I was like very, very confident because Hawaii is a whole different world, man.
Like K.C. Jones said, he said when he walked out the building, it was no man you feared. You know what I mean? That comes with a confidence that can't nobody talk about, especially being black. Like, let's be clear. when you walking down the street feeling like, man, I can whoop pretty much anybody that run up. You know what I mean? Like confidently with no problems. One hit, it's over with. You know what I'm saying? That brings the confidence. So I love that. You know what I mean? But go ahead, brother Bilal.
Yeah. So basically, I studied actually, and also when I was in Shinji Masu, these were like the early days. I mean, right now it's a big organization. Pablo Rodarte and his brother, they were like Shodans. They were like my big brothers. And we had like a little small place, like on the side of the highway, and we would train. And we trained. It's very similar to the BKF. We fought. We used to love to fight, and we would go and we'd come in on a Friday. We leave Sunday. You be sleeping in there on a Saturday night, and it's a storefront. You can't see inside the storefront. It's so sweaty and wet up in there. And we're like, you know, we ain't even taking showers. We're just sleeping in the dojo, getting up and training. And that's how we, in the early days, that's how we did it. A lot of those guys aren't around anymore, except for Pablo Rodarte. He's still around. I think Big Bear is around and Master Adeogaba, but I don't know if the rest of them are still around. Everybody else, like Jackie Cotton and those guys, are actually new to me. You know, I really never trained with them. To me, they're like a younger generation. But like I did a lot, like I said, did a lot of cross training, different styles. I also studied a little Tai Chi under James Kakina. Darren knows him. You know, I was looking at Palaka the other day, and I know this is a side, but I was wondering, like, he's breaking bricks with his palms, and I'm like saying to myself, damn, imagine that guy slapped you.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. If he smacked you, crush your head.
Breaking these bricks, man, like a big old stack about this high. He just slapped it and it broke. I was like, damn, imagine he slapped his kids. Like,
it's over with.
He uses his fingertips.
Yeah, he was using his fingertips.
Can break bricks with his fingertip with a shot glass in his hand without breaking the shot glass. Okay.
Yeah, Palaka was standing on eggs.
My tournament career wasn't that great. I would place a lot. I never really could get up to first place. But I had like some really funny stories though. Like I remember one time I was fighting this guy and he hit me and I heard a high-pitched scream and I didn't realize it was me. And my friend on the side said, "That's you, fool."
Who's that screaming?
Yeah, I mean, my career was always a series of jokes or something funny would happen to me. Like, you know, and people would say, "You remember that time, man? Shut up, man. I'm trying to forget that shit." But yeah, I wasn't really a great tournament, but I could fight. Trust me.
Yeah.
When it came down to the real deal, I couldn't defend myself. It's from growing up being the smallest kid in the neighborhood. You know, I was the smallest kid in the neighborhood. You know how that goes in black neighborhood, bro.
Oh, come on, man. You know what I'm talking about? What
you either can fight or you can run.
You gotta be a little psychotic, you know.
Look. And running ain't gonna last too long. Running ain't gonna last too long.
Not at all.
Not unless you're Kev Kano, right? And you catch up here, you'll be too tired.
Just telling you. But I always had this mindset that,
oh man,
I don't care how good you are or famous you are, I will fight you.
Yeah.
And I will try my best to leave you with something, even though you might be able to be the champion and beat me. I'm gonna try to get you to remember me.
Yeah.
Even if I lose, I want you to think twice about coming back a second time.
Yeah.
And I've always had that mindset. Always.
Yeah.
So
it's gonna be a long
Earning
day.
respect on the floor. Earning the respect on the floor.
Absolutely. I want to add something on. We were talking about a few moments ago where you're talking about slapping, and I know Tibon mentioned using your palm or the tip of your fingers. In the original American Kempos, they call it, and is really from Hawaii. If you notice, Senior Grandmaster Parker, 90% of his strikes were done with open hand.
Yeah.
And that was the intention behind Kempo, is to use your open hand because it is a larger mass.
Yeah.
This is blunt trauma.
Yeah.
This carries a larger area of shock. And that's what he's trying to do, is create shock as opposed to blunt trauma.
Yeah.
I've been in a number of street fights, I'll be honest with you. And I noticed that after the fight was over, I'm holding I know how to hold my hands, I know how to make a fist, but my knuckles were sore, my hands were sore.
Yeah.
However, after going back and working with Steve and Jerry and those guys, they talked about this open hand, and Cliff Stewart had this cupped hand. Cliff could slap you on the side of your head and put you out. Not so much he's a big man, but he understood the nerve chakras in your system, and he would pop you, and it was night-night.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he was rubbing you in the back of your neck, trying to get you back.
Know how to hit you and when
How
to
to
hit
hit you.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the open hand is a dangerous thing, so don't be afraid to
Very
use it.
dangerous. Very dangerous.
Very good.
Yeah, you get a guy like Palaka, Namahoy, and his breaking with his fingertips, but you get a guy like Palaka that knows how to hit your pressure points. He can break you down with your fingers, but that's also what makes him a great healer. Palaka can work on you, and if you have knotted up muscles, his hand just rips the balled up muscles, rips them apart.
Yeah.
And that's how he can heal you and create proper blood flow, in areas that are knotted up.
Yes.
He worked on me. I remember the first time he worked on me, and it felt like he had steel tip fingers. And he hit me from my neck all the way down my shoulder to my arm. And you could just feel everything just break apart and loosen up. It hurt like hell, but it felt so much better when it was done.
Yeah.
Because he understands, the meridian.
Right.
And a lot of these healers, they have that gift in their hands that were taught to them, I witnessed the sensei, Heidi Hiroku, as a matter of fact. And my brother was testing, I believe, for his third degree. And this guy, he was already in his late 60s, and he fell forward on one finger. And he looked up at us and he started doing push-ups. I, 68-year-old man, I should not be able to do this. And he's doing one arm push-ups with his fingertip.
Wow.
But it was said that part of his breaking demonstrations, he could hit a log and rip it. That's how strong his fingers were.
Wow.
But, people like Palaka, they train that. It's the way they train. They have knife hands, they can hit you and literally rip your tendons right off your body. And a lot of the Lima Lama guys, the Polynesian artists, they do that.
Yeah.
So, when you come up on some of these Polynesian brothers, you got to be careful. They get their hands
watch
on
your
you.
mouth, for real.
Watch your mouth, man. You
gotta watch it. Because the whole art is built on blocking and tearing.
Yeah.
You see?
Yeah.
Or if they hit you open hand, they're gonna grab and rip your flesh off.
Yeah.
So, people train that.
Yes,
It's
sir.
real.
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah.
Brother
Palaka he told me his sensei
Brother Palaka.
finger in them big steel drums, full steel drums, stick his finger in it.
Yeah.
So I said that's amazing. But I, before we get out of time, I want to touch base with the legacy of the BKF and GM Dennis's set over in King. Okay. Amin Ra, Bilal, you was talking about that earlier, about Amin Ra's legacy and about him, and what he took from the BKF. Well, he is the BKF and went to Africa and spread the message.
And changed the entire martial art landscape over there.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's legendary activity, bro.
Address the culture then.
There's a lot of things people say about that brother. I don't know him personally. All I know was we were good friends on Facebook, and me and him, we argued and debated a lot, and we enjoyed it. But what I do know, ain't too many of us has done what he's done.
Yeah.
You know?
I had time with Amin while he was here in the U.S. and we hung out. He was one of those. I'll say he was the perfect candidate to go to Africa, and I believe his skill level and his temperament, attitude, his spirit, and we'll call it his chi. He was able to take that to Africa, and like Bilal, I was able to talk to him several times over Facebook, and he was able to share with the brothers in the land, like Brother Dennis here. He was able to transfer knowledge and understanding, and mostly the science, so that they would understand, so they could carry. So, and you mentioned legacy, so that that the legacy from California would carry back to Kenya, and he did a fine job of it. And I've looked at some of the work that Brother Dennis has done, and I got to tell you, Brother Dennis, I'm truly impressed with you, sir.
Yeah, I'm impressed with Brother Dennis too. I've always been impressed.
Yeah. Good work you're doing over there. How many black belts you got over there, Dennis, that you did?
We had an organization called Kenya Kempo Federation, of which we have 158 black belts.
Wow.
That's a lot.
And we had around 8,000 students across, but we are now still growing up.
Wow.
We went into schools, we're teaching our kids.
That's a small army, man.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Hey, come on, man.
They've got a regiment over there.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Straight up.
We are trying to learn this from our late grandmaster. Because there's a time somebody tell me, Dennis, you can make more money teaching kids than teaching others. So I was like, oh, how can kids pay? Just little kids. But they came to understand when the kids want, the parents will pay.
Yeah.
So we make more money in kids. That's why we get into kids so much. Another thing I can say about Grandmaster was free and open to share everything that he knows about martial arts. So he never asked me for any favor or any charges or anything, so that he can share anything that he knows. You know? So
yeah,
I was so much close to him, and I was every time asking, man, can we make arrangements when you go to the US? He said, like, no. You have to go.
Yeah.
I remember the day we walk around, you see, he wanted to change the nationality. It is, can you do me a favor? Show me. I want to get Kenyan national identity card. I'm here. I want to die in Africa, in Kenya.
Yeah.
So, and I asked him, I thought America is the best place. Those people need to help. Those white guys, you know, just like, what? Is it true? Then my cousin was working in the US, just doing those labors, and he called me then, I'm not right here. Can you talk to a family, get some funds, I get some money to raise my ticket and come back home. It's like, what? No. Then I got to believe him.
Yeah.
So I learned a lot from him. And I thank God for that. It was just a gift like Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah, I miss my conversations on Facebook with him. Like I said, he kept his brain stimulating, man. Like he We went like 2 weeks arguing about the Holocaust one time.
Now, Bilal and K.C. Amin Ra, he comes from under the Steve Muhammad, Steve Sanders, BKF as well.
That's correct. Yes, he did.
Right with y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge.
He was with our U.S. family, and that's what was really exciting to us. The fact that he could pick up and go somewhere else and have such a huge following. And for Brother Dennis to share that there are over 100 black belts over there, that is fabulous. I'm loving it. And that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
8,000 students, though.
8,000 students.
It's not easy for someone to sacrifice, leave his family, then come to us home, then teaching martial arts.
Yeah.
He went a lot. I remember the other day that we had at Polytechnic. We were supposed to have training. Then, unfortunately, he didn't move. It was a public holiday, so no one attended the class. I did not even have some cash to, take the matatu back to home. So he met a guy and said, Master, I wanted to join martial arts. Oh yeah, I have the registration form here. So I'm like, then I got my hair at home. What you used to tell me, it saves life, it saves everything. You see, when you take it and you love it, you get anything that you do.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's big. That's big with it. And like you said, I was hearing about, like Darren mentioned earlier, with Aladdin 19. We've been working together on projects for so long, and it's amazing. The stories he would tell me. And I heard about you guys, long before we was even here to this point, to this platform. So for me, it's always surreal, to have K.C. Jones, Darren, Brother Tibon, Brother Bilal, and now GM Dennis, so it's great. And that's why I like these shows. And I like to bring these shows and this information to the world, to the people, and to pass on the legacies. Brother GM Dennis got 8,000 students in Kenya. That's huge,
That's huge.
And over 150 black belts. So that, and that's huge and growing.
The legacy continues.
And
continues.
And we need to get that back here too. We need to get our children back into it, get the kids for the minds, get their minds clean, their minds straight, from the gun violence and everything that's going down and that's going to go down. We still have the same oppression and oppressions from back in the day that are here. Not much change from back in James Baldwin's days. You can listen to James Baldwin from then and apply it to today all day long.
Today. And that's what kind of, it's dope that you went there, P, because it kind of leads me into my question. And I want to kind of ask all of you guys, since you guys are here, we definitely want to tap in to the culture and get you guys' perspective on it. Just being black men, you know what I mean? All three of you guys from all over the world, you know what I mean? Can you kind of talk about the trials and tribulations that you guys faced coming up, taking this path, learning, and how you guys overcame it? You know what I mean? Because I know it wasn't easy for you guys to be in the positions that you are. So can you kind of talk about that and how you kind of overcame it to be where you guys are?
I really never thought about it that much. Just always thought it was a lifestyle for me. I just kind of accepted it as a lifestyle. As far as hardships, really didn't have too many hardships in training. Those hardships would usually be like maybe financial, or can I afford to take this class, or can I afford to go to this event? So I really can't say. I would say that martial arts has actually been really good to me.
As far as like the colorblind, so like
what I can do, I can't play basketball. I used to get flattened on the football field. And truth be told, I used to get my head boxed in boxing. But when I got into martial arts, and I realized that this is really fighting. I really took to that like it was gold, you know.
Yeah.
So I don't have if any struggles that I've gone through in martial arts is usually self-inflicted.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. Basically, I could blame the other guy, but when you think about it, those are decisions that we make when we go down that road.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So in the end, if you pointing one finger in one direction, you got three pointing back at you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I would say that everything that I've tried and endeavored to accomplish, martial arts is actually the one thing that I got to a level of mastery. So martial arts has been good to me. It has made me know a lot of money I broke as a joke, but at the same time, I'm fearing no man, and I don't stress.
Yeah.
And that's what the martial arts does for you. It builds your character to a point that you fear no man, and you don't stress, no matter how tough it gets.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
priceless.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I was teaching martial arts in LA, when Darren, all you guys knew me, I was homeless. I didn't have nowhere to live. I lived in the dojo. All those years y'all knew me, I lived in the dojo. I just never said anything because I felt like I was where I was supposed to be.
Yeah. You was at home in the dojo.
Yeah, you was at home.
Yeah.
Surrounded by the BKF.
Yeah. And here's the thing. When I got to LA, that's the first thing I asked. Where's the nearest BKF school? It took about 2 weeks, but I found it, the one on 43rd and Crenshaw.
Oh, okay.
But it took about 2 weeks because a lot of people weren't familiar until I ran into somebody that was familiar. You know?
Yeah.
But then I showed up at the dojo, broke that guy's nose, and got hired on as resident manager.
That's Bilal. Take his job.
That's how you cut the line. You know what I mean?
That's how we
gonna cut the line.
You know, that's the story the animal told y'all at the last show. That was my first day at that dojo. I just happened to be sitting there, and the guy was beating up the instructors there, and then he for some reason he focused on me. So I got up and broke his nose.
Ended all like that, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Ahmad came out the back and said, "Hey man, how would you like a job?" I was like, "You can stay here, okay?"
Yeah.
Well, how about you, K.C. Jones? Did you face any racial, any kind of, trials and tribulations, wanting to be in martial art, being a black man in this country?
So when I started out, my first competitions, and this is the one I can refer back to, only because I could remember like it was yesterday. And my first tournament I ever fought, I was a yellow belt. And we fought at Fairfax High School, and that's in West Hollywood area. And I went in and fought this guy. And this guy was an adult. This guy was an adult, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, that's how it worked out. We fought people that were older than we were. And I swear I punished this man. I punched, I kicked him. They were all clean. I remember the audience standing up and screaming and hollering, which, the adrenaline rush was on. So, hey, man, I was doing my thing out there and never got a point. Look at, there were 4 judges. I never saw a flag go up for me. There were a flag. And I'm not going to say it was a white guy, but he was. So this guy, that snuck out, didn't it?
It's okay. We
That's
ain't
all right.
No smoke. We adjusting the culture. You know what I mean?
So this guy throws this kick, and I swear it was a foot away from me because I didn't have to lean back or anything. This kick went, and I just knew I was going to be trying and I rushed in and hit him afterwards. They gave that guy a point. This guy won this match 1-0.
Wow.
Now, and I look back at Jerry Smith was in my corner at the time, and I look back at Jerry. Actually, Cliff Stewart was there too, and I look back at him and says, like, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong? And in a consoling fashion as a parent, the pat on the back, saying, "Man, you did everything right. You did great." Says, "Yeah, but they didn't give me points." And they wouldn't explain to me because remember, I'm a younger person at the time.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. So they're protecting me.
Yeah.
They couldn't tell me, said, "Oh, that's a white dude, and the white dude's gonna win every time you fight him. As long as we have this situation, the white dude's gonna win." BKF existed at that time, but our voice probably wasn't. Our voice wasn't as strong as it became later on. But that was the one tournament that I fought in that I thought, wow. They really did take that from me. I did everything I could possibly do. Everything that I learned, I did it, and I did it to the nth of being a perfection, and I didn't win. So that was kind of my catalyst going forward. Is that I'm going to do everything on my side so that everybody knows that I won. Now, sometimes I got disqualified. Matter of fact, a lot of times I get disqualified.
What you say? I'm not gonna get the win anyway. So I might as well get disqualified.
Might as well get it. Yeah, you sound like Aladdin 19.
And see, that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. You get disqualified. Yeah. And afterwards, I was the gentleman. I shake the guy's hand. Hey, I'm sorry, I broke your nose and dotted your eye and everything. That we're out here. It's a sport. As a matter of fact, if you guys don't know, there's a waiver that you sign when you go into a tournament.
Yeah.
Read it sometimes because it does say death on the waiver.
Yeah.
So, I read it.
So any punish, or I should say any injuries that you may inflict, you're not held liable for. I couldn't read it back then, but as an adult, I'd read it and I understood what it was. But yeah, at that point, I would just go off. I became the blitz. I would go out and take care of business. So 70% of the time, I got a flag. But the other 30% of the time, they say, "Well, you have to go home now."
You hurt people.
Yeah.
But that, I mean, and that devil still exists today. Because they don't hesitate to take stuff away from little black children.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that.
Absolutely, it's true.
Today, they do it today. I've seen them cheat them in football games. I've seen them cheat them in, state championship football games.
Baseball games, everything.
Baseball games,
absolutely.
Everything.
Still cheating, and, they still got to cheat.
Everything.
The playing field ain't level, but they know, and Jim Dennis knows because he's in the motherland. It's all that. If the playing field is level completely, that's the fear.
Yeah,
that's the fear.
Yeah,
if the playing field is level completely. They know.
They know it has to be rigged. It
has to be rigged.
Yeah,
because we strive, and we win with a foot on our neck.
Yeah,
and we're still winning.
Yeah.
And
in organizing and running tournaments for all the years I have, the biggest importance is customer service, honesty, and integrity. The right man wins. When you can establish that, people will come to it because they know it's fair.
Yeah.
And Brother Bilal had the opportunity to come and watch a couple of my tournaments. And I know he enjoyed it. Yeah.
Remember? I judged that one with my Grandmaster Braid. Yeah. Your son and your nephew.
Yeah.
Judged at that tournament. I remember that.
And I think what it came down to, in experiencing cheating, it's organizations. Okay, if you go to a big tournament and it's a certain system, and then they got their corners and their centers in there, they're going to be favorable of their system.
Yeah.
But there's one thing I found out. It's how you train your fighters.
Yeah.
And what we used to call it was overkill.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to call no points. hit them 3-4 times uncontested. And you beat them so bad that they can't even cheat.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the way it's done.
And,
too.
you know,
Beat the cheat out of them.
yeah. So to train your athletes to a level, first of all, they don't get hit, but they do all the hitting, and this is weapon fighting.
Yeah.
People learn real quick that the skill level is there, and you cannot cheat no more.
Yeah.
But to come from something that you constantly witness cheating is something that you take pride in to overcome that. You know, and I understand that. I've seen it, I've witnessed it, but we overcame that.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot to overcome it, because especially kids, you train these kids the right way, and then they go to a tournament and they're saying they're not calling none of my points. I'm blocking, I'm countering, they're not calling points for me, they're calling a point against my block. So in weapon fighting, it's so fast that people that are center referee can literally dictate the tempo of the fight, winner or loser, by calling a strike that wasn't a strike, but it was blocked and countered. That was one of the greatest obstacles I think my students had to overcome. Was, first of all, there's judges and referees that might not even know what block is.
Yeah.
So, you know, it all comes down to the judges and referees, how well they're trained to, first of all, officiate a fair fight. And I can imagine what you folks went through back in the old days, and you know, your guys in the audience chanting, you know, on bad calls.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's needed.
Sometimes it got rowdy, bro. Sometimes it got rowdy.
Yeah, I understand. You know,
you can come that close to riding, man.
And here's another thing, guys.
Yeah.
First of all, it costs money to compete in a tournament.
Yeah.
And if you're bringing in 50 to 100 fighters, that tournament director is making a lot of money on that.
Yeah.
And customer service is everything. The right man has to win. And if you have to be vocal to bring that forward to the judges that you cannot get away with that, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
So I completely understand what you're talking about, bro. I see it. So what did I do?
Do you have any of those issues in tournaments over in Kenya and what you're doing? I mean, I'm sure, I don't know if you got any white people refereeing or calling points over there.
Yeah, we have African Sport Karate League, but these things normally happen because sometimes with point sparring, you score, you hit the opponent, the judge will say, no point, you see. These things normally happen. Yeah. So we came up with the idea that we need to assemble the black belts will be the coaches for African Sport Karate League. But we need to see how to point the point. You see, like when we say stop, judges call for point. Ready, call, you show. If one judge shows point and the other doesn't, then there's no point. We try to tell you that most of them are instructors and they favor their students somehow.
Yeah.
You see, and that can bring the game down. We had a case where you see players with their gloves, throw them down, and they walk away. That's normal. It happened to me when I was fighting. I saw when I hit the opponent, he was down, the high kick on the stomach, he felt the pain, but all of a sudden, they call for the point, they said, no points, like, try to score, the winner. What? I just need to go back. So when the player comes back because he loves the sport, then maybe unfortunately the opponent scores and you get the win. This act is normal everything. And I don't know whether it's favoring or you know, maybe you are there, they just hate you, doesn't want you to win. Yeah, but they can do anything. But we are trying to make this thing change.
Yeah.
Yes. That's normal, sir. I know.
Yeah.
And it's still happening today. It's still happening,
It
but
is.
not as blatant as it was back in the old days. Like
because social media, it's a
KC
little
had
bit more
said
visible.
it a couple of times. I had to hit a dude like just to
Yeah,
let people know that I hit the dude. You know.
It's not only about martial arts, even the other sports, even in football.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. You see someone get a chance to go to the Olympics, maybe the best guy out. Maybe the exchange of someone bribes his way, then get the slot to the Olympics or to the games.
Yeah.
So all about action. So
yes, yeah.
What man yeah. But there's a time that we had the interview. Come to us. Then we go to the embassy. Then a guy was showed me camp office. Then was doing like this.
Yeah.
So, but
KC, I'd like to ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Are you planning any future BKF international tournaments where you guys could have Dennis's organization come in with your organization for future international tournaments? I think that'd be fantastic.
Brother Tibon, it sounds like maybe you snuck into one of our last meetings that we had.
Oh, no. It's only obvious. It's only obvious, there's a future, with that.
So, as we mentioned earlier, we were putting some funds together because we were going to go visit Brother Dennis.
Yes.
And in the process, and in the process, yes, we were thinking about putting, because there's only been in the history of the 50-year plus history of BKF, only 2 real BKF tournaments thrown. Yeah. So we wanted to put together a tournament, and we realized that the very first tournament, the initial one, wasn't going to get the draw that we would expect, obviously, at the end, just like the International Karate Championship, little by little bit built. But we were going to extend the invitation to all and anyone, and we were going to make sure that we were going to scholarship Kenya in, so at least we'd be able to bring in a minimum of 10 fighters. Now, if there was going to be more, they'd have to pay their own way. But Brother Diz, we want to bring at least 10 of you over and house you, make sure you have a place to stay, introduce you to this American fat food.
With the vast amount of students that Dennis has, he could have his own qualifiers to build that team to come to America.
I'm still thinking, is there anybody in Kenya that's not taking karate? That's my question. But yes, we want to build the international link and have something ongoing, not just the one time, but just on an ongoing basis. Annual family gatherings. That's right.
I love that. Bridging the gap. I love that.
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. And when you do that, that kind of it becomes infectious. You know what I mean? And it kind of spread beyond martial arts. We talk about finance. We talk about health. We talk about just uniting the cultures in general. You know what I mean? It kind of spreads out, man. That's amazing. I love it.
Yeah. That's how it all gets going. You find out what they need in Kenya. You can help them. You can go, and that's how you build that commerce bridge too.
Yeah, absolutely. That was the thought, exactly. Because we definitely can help each other. And just when we're talking about that, going back to awards, when I stood there on the stage and I looked out in the audience, it was a rainbow out there.
Yeah.
And within that rainbow, I consider that rainbow my family because each one of them were martial artists. We've all touched each other.
Absolutely.
We've all helped each other in one way whatsoever.
Yeah.
One of the guys in the audience asked, hey, you know what? I have access to the mats. Do you guys need any mats? Well, just like we shared with you last time, most of our schools are virtual. And I explained to him and said, hey, you know, this is the situation we're in. We have maybe three brick and mortars inside of LA. And the guy says, not a problem. I'm going to take care of that. You just give me an address and I'll ship them to you. Now, I don't know this guy from Adam, but he knew me and he knew what the BKF was. So he says, I'll take care of you. So it's just like Brother Dennis there in Kenya, even though he and I had never touched flesh before, I say, and I preface it with my brother, as you all are.
Yeah.
We all belong to one another. We are all from the exact same lineage.
Absolutely.
And as long as we have the unity, we become stronger over time.
Yeah. I agree.
Very good.
Okay, Mr. President, you dropping jewels, dropping mics. You know what I'm talking about? You talking that talk, Mr. President. You know what I'm talking about?
Sounding real presidential.
Sounding real presidential. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Hey man, one love, one love,
one love.
I love it, man.
Yes.
And we're going to continue to have these conversations, man, because like I said, you guys' story needs to be told, and like you said, with Brother Dennis, Brother Bilal, like connecting, you know what I mean? Reach one, teach one, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we'll start killing the notion that we can't get along, that we don't like each other, that we can't be together and unite and connect. And if that's through martial arts, so be it. Long as it happens, you know what I'm saying? We all for it. And we love the energy, and we appreciate you guys coming through, giving us your time, your stories, your energy. We definitely gonna spin a block again, you know what I mean, and have you guys on because this is a continued conversation. This conversation don't get old. It needs to be seen more often. You know what I mean? So again, we appreciate all three of you gentlemen coming through, giving us your time and your energy. We really do. Thank you.
It's an honor to witness. It's an honor to witness K.C., Dennis, Bilal. It's an honor to witness this because I see something that I believe in time is going to really grow and expand.
Absolutely.
Okay, and it's an honor, you know, to have you guys on this show, you know, addressing the culture. And you know, Brother Pstock told me before, this is what I'm talking about. You know, what you're seeing here is legacy.
Right.
This is legacy.
And they're connecting from Africa to California.
Yes.
And we're witness to this. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, thank you for sharing. And this means a lot to me.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. And I'd love to see you guys really grow, expand, and one day see you guys throw a world tournament, you know?
Yes.
That'd be beautiful. That really would be beautiful.
Yes.
So,
gonna make it happen.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful in the show. I'm so grateful to be in the show. And, I'd love to have more of this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. You part of the family, man. You part of the family.
Absolutely. You better believe you're a part of the family.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Don't believe the hype. It's all love. It's all love. Don't believe the hype.
One love.
Yeah, K.C. Joe, he said it. I'm going to let you say it, Mr. President. Go and tell him what it is, Mr. President.
It's all about unity, one love, and peace.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yes.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you guys, man. Thank you guys. We definitely going to have you guys back. And what we going to do, we're going to take us a small break, and me and Pstock going to be back right here to address the culture, all right?
Peace.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
P. We are
Great show.
back.
Great
show.
These BKF shows that are, that we've been doing with these artists have all been great. It's been great information from great men from every generation, And then tonight, to top it off, they had Grandmaster Dennis from Kenya tapping in, And you're going to see a lot more of him. You're going to see a lot more of him around addressing the culture, as well as Darren and Bilal. Bilal is like, when he comes on, things happen.
Yeah, he talked that talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he talked that talk.
He talked that talk. And Mr. Prez, that's the president now. I'm not calling him nothing else but Mr. President. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
like,
Mr. President.
It's a vibe. You know what I'm talking about? Like I got chill bumps. You know what I mean? I can't even lie to you when we talk about the connection from Kenya to the States. You know what I mean? Like I love that energy because there's so many misconceptions about us getting along. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I refuse to believe that we can't get along. And today was an example that we can get along and unite and create something. You know what I'm saying? Brother Dennis over in Africa got 8,000 students, man. You know what I'm saying? Got 150, over 150 black belts. You know what I mean? What K.C. Jones, Mr. President, what he's created and continued the legacy with the BKF. Brother Bilal, what they doing, he's creating, he's literally building a dojo on his land. He don't have to do that. You see what I'm saying? But he's doing that because he wants to continue to grow it, continue to build it, and these guys coming together to create a legacy, man. I love it. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy that I could witness the conversation and be in the building. It was amazing, man, and that's exactly what we're here for, to address the culture and move the needle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because they live forever. When you do that,
man.
Like you said, when you teach one and keep moving on, that carries that legacy on. That child that will grow up and one day have his own student, and his or her own student, and will refer back to Grandmaster Dennis, the Grandmaster K.C.
Absolutely.
The Grandmaster Bilal. They will tap in and they will always remember. So you live forever with carrying these traditions and style. And it's great. I love it.
And look, and let's be clear, we need as many traditions as we can because they took all our traditions.
Yeah,
so
they stripped us
down. Creating our own and creating our own legacies is very, very important. So the fact that these gentlemen took it upon themselves to create that legacy and pass it on and teach it, man, I love it. You know what I mean? And that's exactly what we're here to do. And we're going to continue to do it, man. So it won't be that last time on this platform. We just getting started. You know what I mean? We are going to continue to have these kind of shows to let you know that the legacy is colorblind. It's across the board. And we have our stories as well. So I love it. You know what I mean? We ain't ducking no smoke. We addressing the culture. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah.
All day long.
All day long. So like, comment, subscribe, join the culture game.
Comments.
So anytime we drop any kind of content, you be the first one to get it. You know what I mean? We're going to be right here with the same type of vibe, same type of energy, giving you news you can use right here on Address the Culture. You know what I'm saying? We here. You know what I'm saying? So until next week, I'm your boy, Big Wall.
I'm your man, Pstock. We're here to address the culture.
And like I always say, your culture makes you who you are, so make sure they respect it. We're going to catch you on the next episode. We up out of here.
Peace.
Talk about standing for stuff.
Fearless. She's fearless. She's not only a silence breaker, she's an author 2 times. She's funny as hell, and she's just a real one.
There was a part of the story when I talked about coming back from Dallas, him picking me up from the airport, and how he beat me in the back seat of the vehicle. And in the headline on one of the blogs, it's very popular, I'm not going to name, it said, R. Kelly ex-girlfriend says that he kicked her in the back seat of his car and said, "Bitch, stay out of my business."
Okay, so I'm a girl, so I'm gonna ask a girl question.
All right.
What are you looking for in a partner? First thing that comes to your mind.
First thing that came to my mind, girth. Hello, culture. It's your girl LP, aka London Paris. And I want you guys to tune in every Thursday at 7 p.m. Are you tuned in with the culture? As so, come holler at your girl London Paris. Every Thursday at 7 p.m. I would love to share your story with the world right here on Address the Culture.
I set up 10 bricks and then I put a center block on the top of the 10 bricks.
I remember.
And then underneath, I put down 2 cartons of 12 eggs on each side, so 24 eggs total. And so the trick was it wasn't breaking the brick, getting on the raw eggs without smashing the raw eggs. So I was putting my weight on both of the eggs. And so what I did is I set my hand on top, slap the center bricks, split the center bricks, break all 10 bricks without breaking the eggs that I was standing on.
Wow. People started to think that small circle jiu-jitsu included the striking, which was, and the striking was the part that I brought into it during that time. When I came back home, that's when I ended up developing small circle Jew-trap boxing. I don't know if you were aware, but Grandmaster Jay and Bruce Lee were very, very close. And they were close to the point that Bruce used to come to Grandmaster Jay's house and they would talk stories and theories and so forth and so on. And when I got to it was at Alameda High School in the auditorium. And when I got to the auditorium, he had all the pictures up of everybody that ever trained with Grandmaster Jay but mine.
Wow.
There was no picture of me to be seen at all.
And you said you trained up under him for
35 years.
35 years.
And so he would say that our fist is like the nuclear bomb. It's very dangerous. It's very powerful. We have to have great respect for it. And we also need to cover it with love. And make sure that we're not being braggarts and boastful.
I look at a lot of the generation now, they talk about you gotta respect me, you gotta respect me. But they don't know how to give respect.
They don't know how to give respect. No.
Put some respect on my name is what they say. Put some respect on my name is what they say.
Yeah.
Dress in the